Now let's get into the viewers' questions. The first question: which racket do you use?
Yeah, so I recently just switched to this new racket, but I currently use the Yonex Astrox 100C. It's like a heavy racket. I think it's pretty good for like singles.
Mm-hmm. Nice,
Yeah,
nice. They give it to you, right? You're sponsored, obviously, so they just give it to you, right?
yeah, yeah.
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 And second question: what do you think about your group? Everybody's curious. I got
Yeah.
many questions for this one.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, like I said, I'm I would do anything to like play Kento Momota. I don't think I mentioned this before, but Kento is actually my favorite badminton player on the tour right now. Um, I really admire his calmness and his explosiveness on the court. So I think it will be a very good good experience for me, and I hope to do my best against him.
Yeah, it's even crazier when you're playing somebody that's like you look up to a lot, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's meant to be. I'm telling you, it's meant to be. Next question: how did you manage college done in 3 years and training slash tournaments at the same time?
Yeah, so I think it just requires a lot of sacrifice and a lot of discipline. I think remembering your goals, keeping your goals in mind, and waking up every day with uh, a new goal is something that was really helpful for me to graduate in 3 years. It's funny because I never really intended to graduate in 3 years. Um, obviously, obviously because the Olympics were supposed to be held in summer of 2020, I knew that I had to graduate by the summer of 2018 in order to have enough time to train and qualify for tournaments. So I knew that if I were able to graduate in 3 years, it would be a good thing, regardless of whether I would qualify for the Olympics or not. And so I felt like, oh, okay, I could decide to give this a shot. And so eventually it worked out.
I see. Great, very good, nice advice. And next question: when did you decide you wanted to go to the Olympics?
Um, yeah, another funny story is to be honest, I never really dreamed of competing at the Olympics. Um, like there was never like a time where okay, where I said okay, I want to go to the Olympics. I think it kind of just sort of happened naturally. Because like growing up, when you're like always watching the Olympics on TV, you
Yeah,
think of those athletes as like idols almost. And so I think because of how out of reach it was, I never really dreamed of competing at the Olympics. Um, but I think, like I said earlier, because I won the 2014 Junior Pan Ams in Guatemala that year, that kind of like sparked my interest and it made me acknowledge my own potential and not compete at the Olympics, but just to compete at like the adult international stage. And so I think that was kind of my goal, just to be able to uh, compete at the adult international stage. Like it was always my goal to, compete at like the Sudirman Cup or like Thomas Cup or like World Championships. Yeah.
yeah, and I know exactly what you're saying, where it's like it feels almost out of reach, right? Because like it's like when you watch it on TV,
Yeah.
and now you get to go to that. And great. Next question: what's the score when you played February? Is it Febrian?
Yeah. February. Yeah.
February. Yeah. What was the score? They asked what's the score.
Uh, yeah. So February is my coach at BBC.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Yeah, so I think it's because we know each other a lot and we play each other pretty much like a lot all the time. I think usually the score is like pretty close, around like 19, like sometimes like 3 games. So yeah, it's
I
we
think
have
what
we
the
have a good time.
I think what this person means is who wins more is what is what they're trying to ask, like indirectly.
Of course, me, man. What are you talking about?
All right, all right. Hopefully your coach sees that before your training.
Yes.
All right. Next question: will you retire after the Olympics?
Um. Yeah. So I think right now my focus is just to focus on the Olympics right now. I haven't really thought about like the long-term future yet, but I think in the near future, my focus will probably be on my professional work career. But yeah, in regards to like long-term badminton plans, I'm not exactly too sure yet.
Do you think you will coach afterwards? Like become a coach?
Um, Most likely not. Yeah.
I see. I mean, I'm sure if somebody asks you like, "Hey, can you teach me this thing?" that you'll probably do it. So if you guys want
Yeah.
to ask for pointers, you can. Last
Yeah, I
question.
think it's
But
yeah, I think it's I mean, I've definitely considered like acting as like a sparring coach,
mhm.
but like if you were to ask me be like a coach for like a team, like at
Yeah.
a club, I don't really exactly see myself doing that.
hmm I mean, you graduated from college. I mean, you have a degree, and I'm sure you would love to pursue that afterwards, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And last question: how is your training different from other people since you travel a lot?
Um yeah, so I feel like when it's really hard to train when you're traveling a lot, especially during the year of the Olympic year in 2019, where I was basically just going from country to country to country. I never really was given the opportunity to go back home and like train a lot. So I felt like most of the time I was training between tournaments. Like let's say I lost at a tournament, right? Like I lost like maybe early in the first few rounds. I will usually ask those other people who lost as well to train with me to prepare myself and get myself fit for the next tournament.
I see. That's very
Yeah.
smart. That's very smart. Because obviously you have so much time on the road and you use it very wisely.
Yeah.
Nice. Great. That is the end of our podcast today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, thank you, Timothy, again for coming on to the podcast. I appreciate it a lot. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like the video and of course click the subscribe button down below and turn on your notification bell so you guys get notified every single time I post a new video. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching and we're out.